Catherine understood that carrying out an orbital mission would be more difficult than the simpler ballistic flights. The team would have to plan the journey so precisely that the spacecraft would pass through the atmosphere, hurtle along on a looping circle around the planet, and land in exactly the right place. "Let me do it," Catherine said to her boss, working as a computer, or math aide as the women were now called under NASA. Catherine had to prove herself. She was older than many of the engineers she worked with, but she matched them at every turn for intelligence, enthusiasm, and work stamina. "Tell me where you want the man to land, and I'll tell you where to send him up." Catherine knew the math as well as anyone else on the team. An engineer named Ted Skopinski was assigned the task of preparing the research report, and as his computer, Catherine assisted him. He thought she was smart and he respected her work, so he gave her the opportunity to take on challenging assignments. She had to consider factors that were unique to an orbital flight. For example, she needed to take into account the fact that Earth isn't a perfect sphere, but a little bit squat like a mandarin orange. She also had to factor in the speed of Earth's rotation. Everything had to be spelled out, quantified, and identified. Over the months of 1959, a 34-page research paper began to take shape. It was remarkably complex, filled with equations, charts, and tables of calculations. "Catherine should finish the report," said Ted, the engineer she had been collaborating with. "She's done most of the work, anyway." Catherine's boss, Henry, had a reputation for being less than supportive of the advancement of female employees, but Ted encouraged her to put the finishing touches on her report. Her boss grudgingly gave in after Ted made the case for her. The report was titled "Determination of Azimuth Angle at Burnout for Placing a Satellite Over a Selected Earth Position." After 10 months of editorial meetings, analysis, recommendations, and revisions, the report was published in September 1960. It was the first time a woman working in the Aerospace Mechanics Division had managed to get her name on a research report. For Catherine, the completion of the report marked the beginning of a new phase of her life, not just at Langley, but at home too. Somehow, during the long days of 1959, she accepted an offer even more enticing than being invited to the editorial meetings at work. Jim Johnson asked her to marry him. The couple wed in August of 1959. When she put her name on the final draft of her first research report, she signed her new name, Catherine G. Johnson.